The year is 1230. The sun beat down on the steppes of Anatolia. A nomadic people, the Kai tribe, felt the winds of change. These were not the gentle breezes of the open plains. These were harsh winds, carrying the scent of danger and the promise of war. The Byzantine Empire, a once mighty force, had grown greedy. They cast a covetous eye on the lands of the Kai. Raids became more frequent. Tensions ran high. The very survival of the Kai was at stake.
We will not let the Byzantines crush us. The Kai will resist. We will fight.
Ertugul Gazi, the Bey of the Kai tribe, knew this truth well. He was a man of imposing stature and unwavering faith. His eyes, as blue as the sky after a storm, had seen much hardship, but they also burned with an inner strength, a fierce determination to protect his people. Preparations for battle began. Women and children helped pack their belongings. The men sharpened their swords and checked their bows. A sense of urgency filled the air, mixed with a quiet determination. They were nomads, yes, but they were also warriors. They would defend their right to exist. They would defend their home. The fate of the Kai tribe rested on the edge of a sword. Their destiny was uncertain, but one thing was clear. They would meet this challenge head-on, with courage and faith as their guide. The Sogut War was upon them, and they would face it together as one. The day of the battle dawned. The air crackled with anticipation. The warriors of the Kai tribe gathered before their bey. They were ready to lay down their lives for their tribe, their families, their freedom.
My valiant warriors, today, we fight not for land or riches. We fight for our survival, for the future of our children.
His words struck a chord, resonating deep within the hearts of his men.
The Byzantines believe they can take what is rightfully ours. They believe they can crush us under their iron heel.
Ertugrul's voice rose, filled with righteous anger.
But they do not know the strength of the Kai. We are wolves, not sheep. We will fight with the courage of our ancestors. We will fight with the strength of our faith. We will fight for our freedom.
His words ignited a fire in the hearts of the Kai warriors. They roared their approval, banging their swords against their shields. The ground trembled beneath the horses' hooves. This was not a mindless mob, but a force united, bound by loyalty and driven by a shared purpose. They were ready to follow Ertugrul, their bey, into the heart of the storm. The air was thick with tension as the Kai warriors took up their positions. The battlefield chosen was a vast, open plain near the town of Sogut. It was a place where maneuverability would be key, where speed and cunning could overcome brute force. Ertugrul, a seasoned warrior and a brilliant tactician, knew this well. He gathered his commanders, his most trusted advisors, around him.
The Byzantines outnumber us. They are clad in heavy armor and believe themselves invincible. But their arrogance will be their undoing.
He explained, pointing to strategic positions on a rough map drawn in the dirt.
We will use their strength against them. We will draw them out, stretch their lines, and then strike when they least expect it.
His commanders, men who had fought alongside him in countless skirmishes, nodded their agreement. They knew Ertugrul's plans were never reckless. He led with wisdom and courage, always putting the safety and well-being of his tribe first. The Kai warriors, their faces hidden beneath their helmets, waited patiently. They were the tip of the spear, the first line of defense against the Byzantine threat. They were ready to unleash their fury, to defend their land and their people. The fate of the Kai tribe hung in the balance. The Byzantine army, a sea of steel and arrogance, marched towards the Kai lines. Their commander, a seasoned general named Theodoros, sneered at the sight of the seemingly outnumbered Turkish warriors. He had underestimated the Kai before, and it had cost him dearly. But this time, victory would be his, or so he thought. The first arrows flew, whistling through the air like deadly birds. The Byzantine infantry, their shields interlocked, advanced steadily. The clash of steel against steel, the screams of the wounded, and the thunderous roar of battle filled the air. The Kai warriors, nimble and fierce, used their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. They rode in swift, hit-and-run attacks, harassing the flanks of the Byzantine army, disappearing back into the dust before the heavier Byzantine cavalry could respond. The battle raged for hours. The sun climbed higher in the sky, beating down on the carnage below. The Kai, though outnumbered, fought with unmatched ferocity. They knew that defeat was not an option. Their courage, fueled by their faith and their love for their tribe, pushed them onward. But the Byzantines were relentless. Their superior numbers began to tell. The Kai lines wavered, stretched thin by the relentless assault. The outcome of the battle, it seemed, hung precariously in the balance.